Plaksha University is a private university in Mohali, Punjab. Plaksha reimagines education, technology, and research and combines all of that into cross-functional, cross-disciplinary learning for the students. They not only focus on core engineering like engineering principles and learning physics and math and those kind of things at a college level, but they look at functional unit like sustainability, agriculture, modern agriculture. So they are not only horizontal in how traditional colleges work, but they're also functional. I believe that this will lift the level of education in practical areas of enabling students to learn how the world really works. Not just get a theoretical education, but how truly they can make a difference coming right out of college because of the education learning they got in college. Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with the professors and students at Plaksha University and talk about my point of view on learning and education and how we can create one of the best universities in the world, bringing the best minds into the world. In Punjab, my dream is to create a vibrant state, a state where the youth is purposed, the youth has opportunities, the youth have hope. And the fact is that I hail from Punjab, and so Punjab and Mohali is my backyard, and I had to put my effort behind it. I believe it's very important that each one of us craft our own journey, unleashing our potential, finding our purpose. I have to hold this. I'm very, very bad with rules. So let me ask you this: what do you want to know from me? What can I share that will be of use to you? The first thing I would suggest that all of you do, and implore strongly all of you do, is figure out who am I? Look within. Because what we do is when we lead our lives, we're always looking out, we're always comparing. So it is always, am I doing better than this kid? Am I doing better than my classmate? Or, so-and-so has this car and therefore I aspire to have a better car or the same car. Well, then you are comparing yourself and you're chasing something. Whereas if you look within, who am I? What are you doing? You're finding your purpose. You're finding your inner voice. You're finding who you truly are. What makes you tick? What's your purpose in this world? Who am I came to me when I became 32, that I wanted to be an entrepreneur because that's how I was cut. And this is a guy who started his company on his credit cards. I had no concept of VCs, so I never knew how to raise money. I never managed teams. I was not a high-flying executive. I was just a great student of my industry. I knew my industry well. It's like a great analyst, right? And I started the company. Because for the first time I realized who am I. And then EdFX, which was my first company, 5 years into it, we were on the verge of bankruptcy. We had accumulated $2 million in tax debt. My controller said, it's like free money, you can pay it later, which is not correct, but then, I said, if my controller is telling me that, then it's not too bad an idea. So we stopped paying our taxes. We had our major customer lost their funding. We lost 70% of our revenue. We messed with the pipeline. And so we were on the verge of bankruptcy. $2 million in tax debt. We were not paying any of our vendors, our landlord and such. And then we missed payroll for 2 months. It's lying in bed looking at the ceiling. Why should I go to office today? IRS letters are coming in. People are going to ask when the payroll is going to happen. Landlord is calling. All the vendors are calling. It was like, why should I get up? And those 6 months, 7 months, that happened, and that my mother had cancer, so I was coming to India for 3 weeks, going to the US for 3 weeks. So I was 3 weeks back and forth, right? It truly defined me. It truly allowed me to figure out who am I. First, being an entrepreneur. And then what defined me was I'm persevering, I'm highly resilient, and I always carry my people with me. And that was who Sunny Singh was. In your early 20s, I would implore you, if there's one thing you can do, if there's one thing you can do for yourself, is figure out either what you're passionate about or what you love. And then take a straight line approach to that. Don't cut corners. Be patient, take a straight line approach, and give it time. I've never seen those people fail. I've never seen those people unsuccessful. I mean, whether financially, professionally, any which way. But what I'm telling you is that if you figure yourself out now, explore, and you'll make mistakes. You will say, I want to do this, and saying, nope, that's not what I want. I did my bachelor's in textile engineering, I did my master's in industrial engineering, I did my second master's in computer science, and I'm the worst coder in the world. I've never written a single line of code in my first company, let alone the second company. So here's a guy who has a master's in computer science and doesn't know how to code. Here's a guy from IIT who doesn't know how to code. What does that tell you? At the end of the day, I'm not an engineer at heart. Thinking I spent 4 years doing engineering, I could be developing my other passions that I really want to do in life, right? Everything I want to know in business was taught to me by Edifex, especially in the 6 months when the things were really bad, we were on the verge of bankruptcy. We saved our company. It took us 5, 6 years, paid off all our debts, etc. And the company that I started on my credit cards became a unicorn 2 years ago when we sold half of the company to private equity guys. And some people say, Sunny, you're the most successful Indian entrepreneur in Washington, etc., etc. Never strived for it. And I'm saying that to you not because I didn't choose any of that, I didn't chase any of that. I just said, I'm passionate about something, being an entrepreneur. Went to healthcare, loved the industry, put together a great team. We executed well. At some time, my leader said, Sunny, we've been here for a long time. A lot of people are coming and approaching us to buy a company. Let's consider it. I said, okay, if you guys are ready, let's do a transaction. Not because I wanted to. And they all retired. And a transaction that I'll give you some numbers, the transaction was worth between 1.4 and 1.5 billion. So we took $220 plus million and gave it to the shareholders and to the company. Didn't have to. And even in spite of giving $220 million back to the company and to all our associates and employees, I felt that I had not done enough. So I had a meeting with them. I said, look, guys, I'm not happy. There's nothing I can do now, because I thought there was good money when I distributed the money, but apparently, it's not good enough money. Now I'm realizing it. So what you're going to do is you do your second stint, and when you're ready, you do another startup. I'll put the money in, equals, or everybody equal, no matter how much money I put in, and I want each of you to be worth $100 million. Don't chase money. Don't set a goal that I want to be this rich. Trust me, I have left all my peers behind, not because I was competing with them. It's the fact that I was singularly determined to follow my passion and for the right reasons. And I came out okay on the other end. And I've never seen a person who follows that diktat, follows that formula, to ever fail in life. So I tell people with kids, and the parents hate me, I said, go to school because you love to go to school. My both kids, one is 16, one is 22. If they want to drop out of high school, I will have no problems. My daughter goes to college because she loves learning, not because she has to go to college. She knows that. Right? She's going to take an extra year in school. Say, I want to spend an extra year in school because I'm loving what I'm learning, and I got great profs, and I'm learning some really cool stuff, and maybe I'll go to some other country for an exchange. She travels a lot. She travels extensively. And because travel was the right education for them, because they explore, they look at perspectives, they look at different cultures, different people, they hear different things. In the process, they're also saying, travel is my own self-exploration. And the muck comes out earlier in your life. The muck that you're holding that comes later in your life comes early in your life. The question is, can you then handle the muck that comes out? Because as adults, we are fundamentally corrupted. We are a byproduct of our environment, society, parent pressure, peer pressure, friend pressure, keeping up with the Joneses, the industrialized, this is my schooling, got to get the best college, the best job, and before you know it, your back is hurting at the age of 32, while I was warming up at the age of 32. Today, 30-year-old kids are going to the doctors. And I was just warming up. I was a thoroughbred. So we are now mentally fatigued. People saying, my mental well-being is not good. What the heck are you freaking talking about? If you have any idea of concept of well-being, it makes you stronger and not weaker. If you lead a life of holistic well-being, if you're into holistic well-being, it makes you stronger to deal with everything in life. It doesn't say, my mental stress is too much. Because you will know how to cope with it, you'll know how to deal with it, and you won't cause too much of it for yourself. You will harmonize your life. Right? So the reason I'm talking on this side of things is, yes, you are at a great university. Yes, you are at a great school. You have a good background. You have a solid background. And you do wonderful things in life. But do those wonderful things in life because you want to. What is it that I was meant to do on this earth? And then carry people with you. And carrying people with you can mean very simple things. Do you care for the humanity at large? Do you care for society? When you see an unhappy person and you can help that unhappy person, do you go to bed happy? I don't think you should, because one way or the other is going to come and impact you. If you each want to be a great change maker, you want to change the world in whatever you do. Right? Because you'll have different careers, work at different companies. If you want to be a true change maker, then follow what you love. If you don't love Plaksha, leave it. I'll be as radical as that. Be here because you love being here. Study because you love studying what you're studying. And then saying, in my life, here's my North Star, here's my vision of things I want to do, and here's how I want to change the world. See, EdFX for me was a pursuit of passion. My first company was a pursuit of passion. My second company round was a pursuit of love. I wish I knew who am I at the age at which you are. And I've pursued my passion and love a lot earlier versus just going through rigmarole of some job. Yeah, I could say, IT prepared me for this and then got me to US, and then US I did this job that prepared me for this, and then I did this and this and this and this. Yes, there was a journey, and everything life prepared me for what I'm doing now, which I believe is my true calling, round glass, which is living holistic well-being. That's my life. I love what I do. In my first company in healthcare, my colleagues, my leaders, my people in my company could talk circles around me in healthcare. They were much better than I was. In the second company, even though I'm a seeker of holistic well-being, I'm no master, I'm no teacher, I'm a seeker of holistic well-being, there are not too many people who can hold a conversation for too long around holistic well-being with me. Because I love it. As part of being curious, I'm doing what I love, being a seeker and being a continuous learner. Imagine if you're a seeker and continuous learner, that means and I believe at the age of 58, my best growth is ahead of me. Now, how wonderful is that? That what I've learned to date is nothing compared to what I'm going to learn in the future. Think of that. How invigorating is it? How great it is to have that feeling that I've learned nothing yet. My life is in front of me. I'm going to learn a lot more than I've learned. And my best growth is ahead of me at the age of 58. Imagine that scenario. That's pretty cool, right? So round glass is an expression of me or an extension of me. I live holistic well-being. I believe the world should live holistic well-being. And that's a manifestation of me saying, my contribution, my giving back to humanity is, let me show them how to live, because we have forgotten how to live. The bug I want to plant in your mind is that I believe each one of you is today shortchanging yourself to what your true potential is. If you want to unleash the potential that you have, I believe today you are not doing justice to it. And each one of you, I believe, is capable of doing an order of magnitude more today. Not 10 years from now, 5 years from now. An order of magnitude you can do more today if you just unleash your potential. But you unleash your potential when you know what your potential is and where you want to direct that energy to. You just can't just flying everywhere, right? You can't be all over the board. You have to have focus, you have to have purpose. You have to wake up in the morning saying, this is what ticks me. This is what gets me going. And you start incorporating that in your life. So unleash your potential. Live your life. This is your life, you own it. But make sure as you live your life, you're not doing any collateral damage to humanity, to society, to the planet. Keep that in mind. The best opportunities today are in sustainability. The best opportunities today is going to be well-being. The best opportunities today, because the world will be starving very soon, and sustainability people will be kings in whatever you do. So the best opportunities are in creating a better world and a better society. Figure that out. And there's ample opportunities in all areas, tech and non-tech, in bettering society and bettering the planet. So be the change makers that you can be and unleash your potential. If you have conflicted opinions about anything, you basically in decision theory, at least that's what I think, is no matter how many options you are, there are only one or two that really matter, a couple of options that really matter. So throw out the ones that you feel are inconsequential. Take the most important one, and if you're still conflicted, take a path. But be decisive. Don't be indecisive. Don't be analysis paralysis. Oh, I'm going to keep thinking, and therefore I will just do something very quickly, get the data points, see if it's making sense, on the right track, in other words, course correct, and that's a way you do in startup, whatever, you figure out something you do quickly, in case you do not know what's the right path, and then quickly come back, and what happens in the process, you get to know, it's just not that you come back and you found the right path. This process will really help you with saying, I now know how to make decisions because I quickly tried it, I learned from it, I came back, I found the correct path. Next conflict happens, you'll do it again, and the next time you're saying, I am making better and better decisions. By the way, there's never, ever an absolute right decision. Yeah, in some cases there is, don't get me wrong, but there's never an absolute right decision. There are always multiple right decisions. And like plane goes like a plane goes like this, and then course correct, and course correct. Plane never goes like this, right? It always veers off, and then you'll keep course correcting. So you should take journeys where you can just be one with nature. You can explore. You can think freely. You can get a mental detox done, right? Let me unclutter my mind so that it's not bothered. I'm in nature. I'm in a good environment. There's a good weather and stuff like that. And just start feeling stuff. Start listening to your own self. It's like, I did this, didn't like it. I did this, I didn't like it. I did this, I didn't like it. And keep questioning yourself as to the conflict that might be arising. But do it when you're mentally detoxed. In school, you already have a lot going on. You have classes and courses. You don't have the space and the thinking time for who am I? Because you are struggling with who am I? Because I'm taking ML, don't like it. I take this, I don't like it. I take this, I don't like it. So you're still figuring out who am I, which is a great exercise, right? To be able to try different things and not like it, saying that you are on the path of figuring out who am I. But are you giving yourselves the space? And are you going to the exercise of figuring out who am I? So I would say go to Manali for a week, or go to Amritsar and sit in the Golden Temple and listen to the Shabads and just hang out and have the chole bhatures and whatnot, and saying, I just want to think, what the heck am I doing? Why am I not happy? Why am I not happy doing what am I doing? Why am I not getting up in the morning all excited? Why am I changing my mind? Keep asking yourself that question. In the process, what will happen is month after month, you will start course correcting your journey. It could be any one of them, saying Plaksha is not right, or I find the right stream at Plaksha, or I have to augment my life. Or could be something else, right? That thing will come to you. It will come to you. It's impossible it doesn't come to you. You can't get in the morning and open the page in the book and you can't read and focus on it, stop it. Don't worry if you want to do it for a year, come back to it. Just trust me. Pretty much everything you learn in school and college is useless. And I'll tell you in what comparison. Not in terms of you're learning the fundamentals, you're building your fundamental blocks. It's because everything you're going to learn that's going to really be applicable in your life is going to start when you're actually doing it. If you're doing that in Plaksha, you're having true learning. It's not Plaksha is right or wrong. Plaksha is a very good university. I just believe that every learning should be experiential. Every learning should be activity-based. You want to learn mechanics? Take a bike, take a motorcycle, take a car, dismantle it, and remantle it. Assemble it back together. That's your learning. But that's not possible. It's time-consuming, it's expensive, etc., etc. School and colleges can't do that. We're not structured to do that. But what you're getting is, hey, it's a rite of passage to the next level. Get to the best university, do the things that you really like, hopefully get the next job. It's a rite of passage. But leverage Plaksha for what it truly can give to you. Experiences, socialization, different courses you can take, and just dabble, etc. You can experiment in Plaksha with 10 different courses. You can't do that and go a job and say, give me 10 different projects and see which one I like. So use that to your advantage. Things that Plaksha offers, use that to your advantage. Why Plaksha? Because number one is in Mohali. For me, learning is important. I think as trustees, co-founders and stuff like that of Plaksha, we can shape this to be a truly differential school of learning in the country. We are just, it's very raw. Right now, you're in infancy. It's very young as a school. And so it's going to morph, it's going to develop. But Plaksha already established itself as a differentiated university with the kind of 100 plus founders, faculty, the kind of relationship they're building. We have a chance to create something unique in India, right? And we're creating from scratch, which is much more easier than taking an established school and doing something about it. So the fact that we can create a differentiated school in this world, which will take a decade or two, things don't happen overnight. And the fact is back by Mohali, and we're doing a lot of great stuff in Mohali with our foundation in Punjab, the villages of Punjab, with our sports academy, etc. It was my backyard, and I could not say no, I had to participate. I said, it's in my backyard, doing something cool, which we can shape to be something really beautiful. I must participate. Thank you for listening to me. Follow my well-being journey on Round Glass.